OpenAI's $3 billion windsurf deal capsizes. Google snags tech for $2.4 billion. OpenAI's planned $3 billion acquisition of Windsurf has collapsed, according to multiple reports. Instead, Google will pay approximately $2.4 billion to license Windsurf's technology. Windsurf's CEO Varun Mohan, co-founder Douglas Chen, and key team members are joining Google DeepMind, where they will contribute to Gemini, Google's flagship AI initiative. While Google won't own or control Windsurf, it gains non-exclusive access to some of its technology.
Tesla takes robotaxi race to Arizona as Bay Area awaits permit. Tesla has expressed interest in operating within the Phoenix metro area, both with and without drivers, according to the Arizona Department of Transportation. On Wednesday, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the company would expand its robotaxi service to the San Francisco Bay Area in a month or two, and it was waiting on regulatory approvals. However, California's DMV confirmed that Tesla has not yet submitted any application for driverless testing or deployment in the state. Apple eyes fast lane with Formula One streaming deal. Apple is reportedly close to securing exclusive U.S. streaming rights for Formula One, outbidding Disney's ESPN. According to Business Insider, Apple has offered at least $150 million annually, nearly double the $85 million ESPN currently pays. If finalized, the deal would begin in 2026 and mark Apple's third major sports streaming contract, following its deals for MLB and Major League Soccer. Negotiations are still ongoing, but Apple is said to be the frontrunner barring any late developments.
Amazon's Prime Day shatters records with $24.1 billion in sales, beating two Black Fridays. Amazon's Prime Day event, which ran from July 8th to July 11th, was its biggest ever, Amazon announced. According to Adobe's final report, US online retailers generated $24.1 billion in sales over the four-day period, a 30.3% year-over-year increase, equating to more than two Black Fridays in spend. Mobile transactions dominated, contributing $12.8 billion to total sales.
Nvidia to restart H20 chip sales to China after US assures export licenses. The US government has assured Nvidia that licenses will be granted, and Nvidia hopes to start deliveries soon, the company stated. The sales had been paused in April, even though the H20 chips were specifically designed to comply with US export rules. This follows a preliminary trade deal last month, in which China agreed to resume rare earth exports and the US pledged to ease tech restrictions. Google, xAI, Anthropic, and OpenAI land $200 million U.S. defense contracts. The U.S. Department of Defense has awarded contracts worth up to $200 million each to OpenAI, Google, Amazon-backed Anthropic, and Elon Musk's xAI to advance the integration of AI technologies across federal agencies. The Department of Defense and the General Services Administration are collaborating to deploy AI tools from these developers across federal agencies, with the contracts focused on building agentic AI systems tailored for vital national security operations. Additionally, xAI unveiled a Grok for Government suite powered by its Grok 4 model, designed for federal, state, and local use. OpenAI had separately secured a $200 million contract in June to build prototype AI tools for warfighting and enterprise domains.
Meta to invest hundreds of billions on AI. First ever 1 gigawatt plus supercomputer coming in 2026. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced plans to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into AI infrastructure as it remains on track to bring the world's first 1 gigawatt plus supercluster online next year. For our superintelligence effort, I'm focused on building the most elite and talent-dense team in the industry, Zuckerberg said on Monday in a post on Threads. We're also going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into compute to build superintelligence. We have the capital from our business to do this, he added. Meta's first major facility, called Prometheus, is expected to come online in 2026 and be the first supercluster to break 1 gigawatt. It will use 500,000 Nvidia GB 200/300 GPUs, according to data by SemiAnalysis. It will be followed by Hyperion, which is expected to scale up to 5 gigawatts over several years. We're actually building several multi-gigawatt clusters, Zuckerberg noted. The scale is massive, with each cluster taking up the space equivalent to a large portion of Manhattan.
MP Materials hits record high after $500 million rare earth deal with Apple. MP Materials surged 20% on Tuesday, posting an all-time intraday high of $62.87 after announcing a $500 million deal with Apple to develop a recycling line for rare earth materials for use in Apple products. The partnership includes a $200 million Apple prepayment for a supply of magnets scheduled to begin in 2027. The magnets will be produced at MP's Texas facility using magnets recycled from MP's California facility. Analysts noted this move ensures Apple's supply chain stability, free from China, and strengthens its U.S. positioning. SpaceX eyes space-based manufacturing with Starfall initiative by 2030, trails Redwire and Rocket Lab. SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, is developing a new initiative called Starfall, which aims to use the company's Starship rocket to conduct orbital experiments for creating commercial products in space. The plan involves launching unmanned capsules carrying materials like drugs, semiconductors, food, and beauty products into orbit, where space conditions, such as microgravity and elevated radiation levels, may foster novel manufacturing conditions. The capsules would later fall back to Earth for recovery and analysis. SpaceX intends to launch Starfall before 2030 and is already in talks with potential customers. Wealthwise Research has identified Rocket Lab and Redwire as two companies that possess advanced in-space manufacturing capabilities already, with multiple missions underway.
Oklo picks Kiewit to build first Aurora nuclear plant in Idaho. Nuclear Regulatory Commission filing expected this year. Oklo has chosen Kiewit Nuclear Solutions as the lead contractor for its first commercial Aurora nuclear power plant to be built at the Idaho National Laboratory. A master services agreement has been signed, and Kiewit will handle design, procurement, and construction, with pre-construction starting in 2025 and commercial operations expected between late 2027 and early 2028. Oklo noted that a large portion of the project is non-nuclear, allowing it to utilize Kiewit's industrial infrastructure expertise. CEO Jacob DeWitt told Bloomberg that Oklo plans to submit its small reactor design to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission by the end of the year, and the Idaho plant may be complete by late 2027. Joby Aviation doubles production capacity with California facility expansion. Joby Aviation is expanding its California facility to 435,500 square feet, doubling its production capacity to 24 aircraft per year. In addition to increased production, the California site will provide FAA production certification, conforming ground and flight testing components, pilot training simulators, and aircraft maintenance. This expansion strengthens Joby's manufacturing network alongside its renovated Dayton, Ohio facility. OpenAI taps Google Cloud to power ChatGPT across key global markets. OpenAI announced it will use Google Cloud Platform for ChatGPT and its API, adding Google to its roster of cloud providers alongside Microsoft, Oracle, and CoreWeave. Google Cloud will support OpenAI operations in Japan, the Netherlands, Norway, the UK, and the US, according to an updated sub-processor list.
Trump says firing Fed Chair Powell highly unlikely, but won't rule it out. President Donald Trump has discussed the possibility of firing Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, according to multiple reports. The New York Times reported Trump showed Republicans a draft letter firing Powell, and the group expressed approval of such a move, although Trump later said he hadn't written such a letter. Bloomberg cited a White House official saying Trump was likely to fire Powell soon, while CBS News reported he has publicly and privately floated the idea of firing him for cause. On Wednesday, Trump said it's highly unlikely he will fire Powell unless he has to leave for fraud. When asked if he would rule out firing Powell, Trump said, "I don't rule out anything."
Rigetti hits 99.5% fidelity in Quantum Leap with modular 36-qubit system. Rigetti Computing announced it has achieved 99.5% median 2-qubit gate fidelity on its modular 36-qubit system, a twofold improvement in error rate over its prior 84-qubit Anchor 3 chip. The 36-qubit system is built from 4 9-qubit chiplets using Rigetti's proprietary modular technology, a critical step toward a 100-plus qubit system goal. The company plans to launch the 36-qubit platform on August 15th and remains on track to release its larger system, also targeting 99.5% fidelity by the end of 2025. Unlike competitors that create qubits by trapping ions or atoms, Rigetti employs superconducting qubits, which at ultra-low temperatures lose electrical resistance and sustain quantum states longer.
Aeva expands Daimler deal, boosts 4D LiDAR output for autonomous fleet. Aeva Technologies announced an expanded agreement with Daimler Truck North America for the series production of its 4D LiDAR technology for autonomous trucks. To meet demand, Aeva plans to establish production capacity of up to 200,000 LiDAR units annually in North America. U.S. crypto legislation breakthrough. Genius Act heads to Trump. Clarity Act moves to Senate. The U.S. House has passed 2 major crypto bills, marking a historic step toward the first comprehensive U.S. crypto law. The Genius Act, regulating stablecoins, passed 308 to 122 and previously cleared the Senate 68 to 30. It now awaits President Donald Trump's signature to become law. The Clarity Act, which will establish broader crypto market rules, also passed the House 294 to 134 and now moves to the Senate, which is drafting its own version. Senate Banking Chair Tim Scott said he aims to complete market structure legislation by September 30th, noting the House bill provides a strong template.
Uber, Lucid and Nuro join forces to deploy 20,000 Lucid vehicles in global robotaxi push. Lucid shares surged after announcing a partnership with Uber to launch a next-generation premium global robotaxi program using Nuro's autonomous technology. As part of the deal, Uber will invest $300 million in Lucid and make a multi-$100 million investment in Nuro. Uber plans to deploy at least 20,000 Lucid vehicles equipped with the Nuro driver over 6 years, operated by Uber or its fleet partners, exclusively on the Uber platform.
BWXT Technologies secures $2.6 billion in Navy nuclear reactor contracts for submarines and aircraft carrier. BWXT Technologies announced contracts worth up to $2.6 billion, including future options, to supply nuclear reactor components for Virginia and Columbia-class submarines and some Ford-class aircraft carrier parts for the U.S. Navy. Deliveries will occur over the next 6 to 8 years. The new awards build on the $2.1 billion in contracts announced in February, marking continued momentum in defense nuclear manufacturing. NRC assessment finds Oklo ready for Aurora license submission. Oklo shares rose on Thursday after announcing it completed the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission's pre-application readiness assessment for its first Aurora powerhouse at Idaho National Laboratory. Oklo said the assessment confirmed its readiness to move forward and found no significant gaps that would prevent the NRC's acceptance of the application. Oklo plans to submit the first phase of its combined license application this year, supporting its goal of scalable deployment of Aurora powerhouses for commercial and federal clients.